how all of life is a mirror, of how when we have thoughts within us, oftentimes these very thoughts are reflected back to us in reality. How when we're in relationship, and I see this a lot because I'm a counselor, and oftentimes I work with couples, and I'll see a couple, and both of them will be arguing with each other about the same thing, and have their feet dug in the same way, and just simply be reflecting back to each other. It's an absolute mirror. It's quite bizarre. I'm not exactly sure how it works or why it happens, but it tends to be what happens in this world. Is very much the very thoughts we have oftentimes get broadcasted out to the universe, and then the universe reflects these thoughts back to us in life. And it's a funny thing if we begin to pay attention to it. Like oftentimes if we have thoughts about our worthiness, we're reflected that back in the world. And what that means is, say I have an experience or a thought that I'm unworthy, oftentimes life will bring forward people to me that will prove that I'm right, that I'm unworthy. And this goes back to what I was saying about, is that life is our teacher, and oftentimes life is playing a game of, I told you so. This funny game. So if I have a thought, and say I was taught by my parents that I'm unworthy, and then I grow up, and then I marry someone who reminds me that I'm unworthy, and then I go to work and I'm surrounded by people who remind me that I'm unworthy. But a funny thing happens too is if I change my thoughts, if I change my beliefs about myself, about the world, about reality, and begin to believe that I am worthy, that I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of being adored, I'm worthy of whatever, being honored. Oftentimes life brings forward people who will reflect that very thought back to me. And so when we begin to know this, it's an invitation for us to change what we think and to change our reality, to co-create a different kind of reality in this world. And it's something that, perhaps that we could just play with for a little bit and just see if there's any truth in this. And I've always been amazed that when I look back at my life and I think that I wanted, say these 5 big things in my life. I got every single one of them. And the way I think, and then I look about and just think about the way I think about myself, life reflects that back to me and the people that are around me. Negative or positive. If I think negative, oftentimes I get a negative experience. If I think positive, oftentimes, and I'm using the word often, oftentimes, it reflects back that experience. And what this is it's an invitation for us just to examine what we think. And oftentimes, there's things that we think that are unconscious within us that are getting broadcast out to the world, and what we get back is painful experiences. And so it's an invitation for us to begin to examine our unconscious thoughts too. And just see, what am I unconsciously thinking? You can look at life. What is life showing me? And so in a sense, life's coming forward saying, hey, do you like this experience or would you like to change it? And if we look at, say, what God is, God is this incredible creative force. And God can just have a thought and create a universe. And also, we often forget this, but we are absolutely divine. We are absolutely God as well. And so sometimes we have a thought and it creates something in reality. It's a funny thing. It's a funny thing, and this is something we could just test out for ourselves and see if there's any truth in this. And just play with it a little bit. See if there's any reality in it. And it doesn't have to be in some crazy egoic way, like I'm going to think that, I deserve $1 million, so I get $1 million. Not like that, but more just like playing with reality. And just seeing that, how bizarre would it be if I could have a thought and that could change reality? What does that say about the world? What does it say, about this divine play we live in? If we really see it from that perspective, it can actually blow all of our ideas about what we think about this world being concrete. Because one thing our mind does is it creates all these concrete ideas about life. Life is this way. In the 50s, it was you work hard, you go to college, you get married, and you have 2 kids. Then you're happy. And so we have like all these ideas instilled in us about what we're supposed to do in life, what happiness is, how life works, all these belief systems that are just part of our collective consciousness. But our invitation is, as we wake up, to begin to destroy these ideas, let go of these ideas, or create whole new ideas about reality. Instead of having this idea that I need to work hard and go to college and become this person so that one day I can be wealthy. What if we came up with an idea that I know what I love and I'm going to do what I love. And as I do what I love, it's openly received and supported in this world. And so when we step into this kind of creation, we're aligning with the trueness of our heart. I'm not speaking about aligning with the desires of our mind, but aligning with the trueness of our heart and stepping into this reality and creating this reality in an efficient way. Instead of trying to step into this reality while holding on to these beliefs that it has to be this other way, the way that our collective consciousness tells us life has to be or is supposed to be. And so this is just another way we can free ourselves, is through unhooking from this collective baggage that we've inherited and begin to co-create a new reality based on the truth and the depth of our heart. So this is my invitation to you, my invitation to myself, to play with this and to see if it's true. And of course, with any spiritual practices, we want to give ourselves fully to it for a period of time. This isn't something we try once and then say, oh no, see, it doesn't work. We try it for a while and see what's there.